In this video, I'm going to show you 5 of the best seated exercises for the lumbar spinal stenosis problem. These are ones that you can safely do from a chair. If standing and walking make things more uncomfortable, worse, or simply need a gentler way to exercise, these movements may help reduce leg pain from lumbar stenosis so you can walk further with less pain and greater ease. Let's get started. Hi, I am Dr. Chris Cameron from Cameron Family Chiropractic right here in Lucan, Ontario. Before we begin, there is one important thing you need to understand. Every exercise in this video gently places your lower back into a flexed or slightly forward bent position. For many people with lumbar spinal stenosis, this creates a little more room for the nerves to move and breathe, which is why sitting and leaning forward often feels better than standing straight up tall. The same principle behind the 5 exercises helping reduce pressure on the nerves while keeping your movement safe, gentle, and easy to do from a chair. Let's get started with one of my favorite exercises for lumbar stenosis because it's gentle, easy to do, and for many people, it provides relief fairly quickly. Exercise number 1 is called the seated knee to chest. You simply sit towards the front of a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. You sit up nice and tall. Now, slowly bring your knees toward your chest and gently hold it with both hands. Pull only until you feel a comfortable stretch in your lower back and hip. Hold there for 5 seconds while taking a slow, relaxed breath. Then lower your foot back down to the floor with control. Now, switch sides. As doing this, you want to pay attention to how your back and legs respond. You may feel a gentle stretch across the lower back and into your rear end area. And if your symptoms travel down the leg, you might notice some pain and tingling or heaviness. You might notice that starts to settle down. This is because bringing your knees forward towards your chest places the lower back into a flexed position, helping reduce pressure on the nerve that often is irritated in lumbar spinal stenosis. The movement should feel gentle and comfortable. There's no need to force this or force the knees higher. If you notice a sharp pain or your legs symptoms start to get worse, simply ease off on the stretch and stay within a range which is comfortable for you. You're going to want to repeat this exercise 5 times on each side. Hold each repetition for about 5 seconds. Complete 1 or 2 sets and try doing this once or twice a day, especially before a walk or any time that your back or legs feel stiff after standing or sitting for a long time. Now, let's go ahead and take from that and build upon that with that same flexion principle with another seated movement. This one often provides even greater relief by gently opening up that space around the nerves a little bit more. Exercise number 2 is the seated flexion stretch. This exercise builds on what you've already done, bringing your lower back a little bit further into flexion. For many people with lumbar spinal stenosis, this position helps create a little bit more room around the spinal nerves, which may reduce lower back pain and stiffness, as well as the leg pain and numbness, or that heaviness that often comes with standing or walking too long. Sit towards the front of a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor and slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Relax your shoulders and slowly begin to lean forward, letting your hands slide down the thighs towards your knees, shins, or ankles, only as far as what feels comfortable for you. Don't worry about how far you go. The goal isn't to reach the floor, it's to let your lower back gently round while keeping the movement slow and controlled and relaxed. Once you find a comfortable position, hold it for 10 seconds and continue breathing normally. As you stay there, notice how your lower back and legs feel. Many people describe a gentle stretch across the lower back or a feeling that the pressure in the legs is beginning to ease. This is exactly what we're looking for. If you notice sharp pain, increasing numbness, or dizziness, simply come back up and use a smaller range of motion on your next repetition. To return, place your hands on your thighs and gently push yourself back up to the sitting position without rushing the movement. Repeat this stretch 10 times, holding each repetition for 10 seconds. Complete 1 or 2 sets and perform it once or twice daily, especially after standing or walking or when your symptoms flare up. Now that we've learned 2 effective ways to reduce pressure on the spinal nerves, let's move to an exercise that helps maintain that more comfortable position by improving the way your pelvis and lower back work together. Exercise number 3 is a seated posterior pelvic tilt. This movement may look small, but it's one of the most important exercises for people with lumbar spinal stenosis because it teaches your pelvis and lower back to stay in a position that's often more comfortable for the spinal nerves. Sit upright in a chair, both feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Now imagine you're gently tucking your tailbone underneath you. As you do that, you'll feel a natural arch in your lower back. It begins to flatten slightly, and your abdominal muscles tighten just a little bit. Hold that position for 5 seconds, then slowly relax back to your starting position. As you follow along, keep the movement slow and controlled. You're not trying to slouch or round your entire upper back. The movement comes from the pelvis gently rotating back and forth. This places the lower back into a slightly flexed position, which may help with the lumbar spinal stenosis. It helps you to find a more comfortable position because it reduces the pressure on those spinal nerves. When you return to the starting position, stop at neutral. Try not to tilt your pelvis forward or exaggerate the arch in your lower back. The movement places your spine into extension, which narrows the space where the nerves travel and can aggravate symptoms like back pain, leg pain, or numbness or heaviness. So be careful about that when you come back to the starting position. You're going to perform 10 repetitions, holding each tilt for 5 seconds. You'll complete 1 to 2 sets and practice this exercise once or twice a day. The more familiar this movement becomes, the easier it is to use it during everyday activities like standing, walking, and helping to avoid positions that might aggravate your symptoms. Now that you've learned how to improve the control of your pelvis and lower back, let's add a gentle movement that improves side-to-side mobility, especially if your symptoms tend to be more noticeable on one side or the other. Exercise number 4 is the seated lumbar side flexion. Up to this point, we've focused on movements that gently open up the spinal canal by bringing the lower back into flexion. This exercise is a little different. It helps to improve side-to-side mobility and may reduce stiffness around the openings where the spinal nerves exit the spine. For some people with lumbar spinal stenosis, especially if symptoms are worse down one leg than the other, improving mobility in this area may help make everyday movements just feel a little bit more comfortable. To do this, we're going to sit tall, both feet are flat on the floor, and the weight is evenly balanced on both hips. Keep both sitting bones in contact with the chair, slightly lean your upper body to the right, reaching your right hand towards the floor. Try to keep your chest facing forward and avoiding any twisting of your body. Hold this stretch for 3 seconds, then slowly return to the center before repeating the movement on the left side. As you follow along, you should feel a gentle stretch along the side of your lower back and trunk. One side might feel tighter than the other, and that's completely normal. The goal isn't to lean as far as you can. Instead, focus on making the movement smooth and comfortable while staying within a pain-free range of motion. If you notice sharp pain in one leg or the symptoms become significantly worse, reduce how far you lean or stop the exercise entirely. Perform this repetition on each side, holding each stretch for about 3 seconds. Complete 1 to 2 sets and practice the exercise once or twice a day. Improving side-to-side mobility can make simple daily activities like reaching for something, getting dressed, or turning while walking feel easier and more comfortable. Now you've improved mobility in several directions. Let's finish with an exercise that helps strengthen the muscles you rely on every day when you stand up or when you're trying to stay active. Exercise number 5 is seated marching. The first 4 exercises focused on improving mobility and reducing pressure on the spinal nerves. Now it's time to build some strength. This exercise helps strengthen the muscles that support your spine and hips, making everyday activities like standing up, climbing stairs, and walking feel easier and more stable. Because you're doing it from a chair, you can strengthen these muscles while keeping your lower back in a comfortable position. To do this, sit towards the front of your chair, both feet flat on the floor, sit up tall, and gently tighten your abdominal muscles to keep your trunk steady. Now slightly lift your right knee a few inches off the floor, pause briefly, then lower it back under control. Repeat the same movement with your left leg. Continue to alternate side to side as if you were slowly marching in place. As you follow along, try to keep your upper body as still as possible while your legs do the work. You should feel muscles in the front of your hips and the abdominal muscles working to keep you stable. Avoid leaning backwards or arching your lower back, as this position can increase pressure on the spinal nerves. If lifting your knee is uncomfortable, simply reduce the height of the movement while maintaining good control. Perform 10 repetitions on each leg, completing 1 to 2 sets. Practice this exercise once or twice a day. As these muscles become stronger, you'll often notice better balance and greater confidence with everyday movements like getting out of a chair, climbing stairs, or walking longer distances. Today we covered 5 exercises designed specifically for people with lumbar spinal stenosis. By using gentle flexion-based movements, improving mobility, and strengthening the muscles that support your spine, these exercises may reduce leg pain, improve walking tolerance, and make everyday activities a little bit more comfortable. If you follow along with these exercises, which one gave you the most relief? Was it seated knee to chest, seated knee flexion stretch? Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. If you found value in today's video, please give it a like and share it with someone dealing with lumbar spinal stenosis. Doing this helps more people find practical non-surgical solutions that may help move better and feel better. And if you want more exercises like these, to learn about the treatments we offer in the office, like non-surgical spinal decompression, make sure you hit the subscribe button to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. Now, if you'd like to learn more about our 8-step multimodal treatment protocol called the Backstrong Protocol, which helps patients recover from conditions like stenosis, sciatica, leg pain, disc bulges, and disc herniations, click the next video. I will walk you through the exact approach we use to reduce pain, improve function, and get people back to doing the activities they enjoy.